Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Bibby's not full screen. How are we all doing today? Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. It's Friday, end of the week. I just want to start things off by sharing a really important message.
My name is Cuban Pete, and I dance to a rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom.
There you go. You're welcome. I may have just played that song on Instagram a little bit earlier on, so yeah, it's now earwormed me and Babe, and now all of you. My name is Cuban Pete. I dance to a rumba beat. Anyway, good morning. How are we all doing? Welcome in. It's Friday. Yeah, end of a week of scoops. Your final edition of the scoop for you guys right here, right now. Can I ask you all a favour? Do you mind just letting everyone know that we're live? You know, some people don't get the message, but there you go. There is the message. We are now live on Twitch. If you can just go and hit retweet on that would be fantastic. You lovely, lovely people. Plum Rico says, good morning. Happy Friday. How the hell are you doing? Enix says, ice cream upload. With a load of O's. Thank you very much. Good morning. I see you've also been on the alcohol. Nice. Lake says, hello. No, it doesn't. Actually, he says, hello. Nope, it doesn't sound like that. It sounds like, hello. Nope. Okay, try again.
Hello.
There you go. That's how it sounds like. So our exclusive subscriber mode that sounds exactly like that did. Gagad says, good morning, gents. How the devil are you? Enix, can you sprinkles all over my face? Well, that's gone weird. Good morning, Enix. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, says Chucky. Alright. You really shouldn't drink in the morning, says Tito. It's caffeine. It's caffeine, Your Honour. I swear. It's my muscle mousse brew. That's what it was. Honest. Just had undercooked bacon, so getting ready to bum chunder. Enix is on form this morning. Lovely, lovely. Good morning. Mr. T says, morning, I'm in a long queue to get my COVID vaccine. Happy Friday. Happy Friday!
Hey.
Nice, nice. Which one have you got? Are you a Moderna man? Or are you a Geyser Pfizer? What we're saying. I'm on Pfizer next week, next Tuesday. But anyway, good morning, welcome in. How are we all doing? Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. If you don't know, my name is Graham. This is Bibby, and we are Ice Cream Uploads. And in true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's number one video game podcast. Number one video game podcast. Well, it is in our eyes anyway. Anyway, welcome into the stream. We do go live on Twitch each and every single weekday at 10 a.m. ish. 10 a.m.-ish on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. The time is now 11:25, so not the greatest 10 a.m.-ish today, but it's all right, it's fine, it's Friday. It's Friday. Everyone gets late on Friday. That's what the words go like now anyway. Anyway, we are live on Twitch. We do go live at 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday. And if you're in the chat, it's important that you get involved. You guys do each and every single weekday, and that's wonderful because it means a lot. It means a lot, the fact that you guys get involved. Not just because it helps us with the show, but it helps everyone else that watches and listens on demand. So we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. So lots of people watching and listening on demand that don't get to speak and share their thoughts and opinions right here, right now in the chat. You guys get to do that. I mean, I didn't even say that. We're going to give you our thoughts and our impressions on the biggest, the best, and breaking stories in the world of video games. So we want your thoughts and impressions and your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions on behalf of everyone else watching and listening on demand. Nice. Lots of thoughts and impressions. We are going to jump into the show. First things first, let me just mention exclamation mark insert coin because I'm wearing the lovely PlayStation hoodie again. This is probably my favourite one, this black PlayStation hoodie out of the two that they sent me last week before. So exclamation mark insert coin. You can get yourself 20% off insert coin products by using the code there. If you want to buy yourself some insert coin products as well, then you might as well get involved in our giveaway. Exclamation mark giveaway if you watch it on stream. That will give you a link through to our pinned tweet on Twitter. You can win yourself 50 quid to spend at insert coin on behalf of us and the lovely people at insert coin. So feel free to get involved in the giveaway. And then use our discount code to save yourself some money. They might stack, they might not. I haven't checked, but there you go. And for anyone else that has already entered and that's got your freebie interactions and so on, because we do offer extra giveaways, extra entries into the giveaway each and every single weekday just by going to the player.gg link in the tweet. Is my chatbot dead? My chatbot is dead. Okay, well, I'll try again. What? Awkward. So, yeah, if you do want any extra entries into the giveaway, make sure you check out the link when chatbot finally comes back alive, because you can get 2 extra entries for free every day to increase your chances of winning. If you're not bothered about that, you just want to be a subscriber and you don't want to enter giveaways and stuff, then you can also win giveaways just by entering ! Loot drop. There we go. Chatbot is alive. Is it logged in? It is logged in. There we go. If anyone just wants to type ! Insert coin, ! Giveaway, ! Loot drop, you'll get all the information in the channel. But without even any further ado, babe, we have some very tasty stories to discuss today. Am I right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. As you can see now, I didn't mean to put it on the screen straight off the bat, but there it is. So I might as well leave it there. Nintendo and Xbox are in secret talks. Ooh.
Yeah, they are. They've got all the secret handshakes going on and everything.
Yeah, it's things you love to see, or is it? Is it? I mean, is it a thing that PlayStation doesn't love to see? We'll take you into that news just to give you a quick summary of the news that we will be going through today. We don't usually do this, but I started thinking maybe I should give you a little gist of what is to come. Starting things off with a conversation about Nintendo and Microsoft potentially having conversations. Nintendo and Microsoft having conversations. Bethesda and Microsoft will be joining each other on the same stage at E3. There's some discounts for the Epic Game Stores. And when I say discounts, there's also freebies, so feel free to stick around for all of that content. But for now, we'll jump into the first news story of the day. Let's take the discussing off for now, as this one is written by GameCentral at Metro Gaming, and it says Nintendo and Microsoft in secret Xbox talks reveal court papers. Woo. Spicy secret talks. Ooh, so court documents from the Epic Games versus Apple case reveal behind-the-scenes discussions between Microsoft and Nintendo. But was it about Game Pass? ? Ever since Microsoft announced Xbox Game Pass and talked about it in terms of wanting to get it on every device possible, there have been rumors of a deal with Nintendo, especially once they start to push the xCloud streaming service. The Switch seemed like the perfect format, given it's a proper gaming device with controls other than just touchscreen. That may be exactly what Microsoft and Nintendo has been discussing too. Or it might not, because Nintendo has had all the details redacted from the court records. Knowing Nintendo, the hidden details could be over how many sugars their execs take in their coffee rather than any real company secrets. But the odds are it's something important. If it's not Game Pass, though, and there's no certainty that it is, then another possibility is Nintendo using Microsoft's Azure streaming technology, something which Sony has already signed up to do. Nintendo has already experimented with streaming in Japan, so are clearly interested in the concept and yet would have to rely on another company, such as Microsoft or Google, for the underlying technology. There are a million other possibilities, from Master Chief in Super Smash Bros. To Microsoft buying Nintendo, which wouldn't be the first time they've tried. Whatever's going on, though, the chances are Nintendo said no. The company has never been one for collaborations with other console manufacturers, just ask Sony. And if Game Pass does end up on the Switch, that would be a major change in policy for the company. That's the end of the article. Nice. Okay, we do have a tweet embedded there from Stephen Totilo, which says, Nintendo says these portions of an Xbox BizDev exec's deposition in Epic versus Apple reflect competitively sensitive information about negotiations between Nintendo and Microsoft. She was primarily deposed about trying to bring xCloud to iOS and more broadly discussed the console biz. So there you go. Nintendo, Microsoft, having secret talks. Is there the potential of a partnership? Has it gone? Could it come back again? Is it still a conversation that's ongoing? All we can say is there have been conversations. We don't know what about. We don't know if they've stopped. We don't know if they've been hidden for now. We don't know if they've been shelved. Whatever. We don't know. What do you think it could be, babe?
The easy way out is to say, I have no idea. But I think it's kind of like the world's worst kept secret. We've covered it many, many times on this channel before. It's been featured in 101 different articles about the possibility of Game Pass coming to the Nintendo Switch. I think it's perhaps a match made in heaven. We've seen xCloud come into your mobile. We've seen it now on our on Apple phones. We've seen it on iPads. We've seen it on tablets. You can play it on your PC. You can play it on your tablet. It really doesn't matter. You can pretty much play Game Pass anywhere as long as you've got it. Now, the biggest slice of the pie would be to have one of the fastest selling consoles and one of the best consoles out there at the moment, albeit it's underpowered to a degree, is a Nintendo Switch. You can't really play. I don't even know if you can. I haven't tried it, but you can't play any of Game Pass games on your phone without a controller of sorts, whether or not it'll be a Bluetooth Xbox One or Xbox Series X controller or Series S, or one of the Razer gadgets, or many of the other gadgets that have come out, a peripheral for your phone to be able to play these kind of things. Maybe a 8-bit door controller, I'm not sure. Anything with Bluetooth capabilities, I imagine, but you can't play it without them. So what's the next best thing? Being able to play them on your Nintendo Switch anywhere, being able to dock it, and then you picking up your Pro controller and then playing your favorite Xbox games wherever you are, whether you're in the front room or obviously not on a plane unless it's got Wi-Fi, but having the ability to be able to play these games anywhere, I'm sure they would have gone to Nintendo to ask them. Xbox are balls out. Do you know what I mean? They haven't got anything to say they haven't got anything to hide, but they're not ashamed to ask questions and then potentially put the blame on anybody else who says no. Say we tried. We're the ones that are trying. We're the ones that are making all the moves. These guys just don't want any part of it. So I think a wise move. I would absolutely love to see Game Pass on a Nintendo Switch, but I can see why Nintendo don't want to do it for the time being.
Yeah, for those of you that are late into the show, Calden Echo, good morning, says Nintendo and Xbox, what did I miss? Well, if you are late, first of all, let me put this into the chat. That is the Instagram link. If anyone's on Instagram, feel free to go and hit like on that post. Add it to your story. It helps us grow there too. Thank you. You don't have to, but it would be nice. Well, the gist of it, as you can see on the link on the image in that link, is that Nintendo and Microsoft have been in secret talks. We don't know what those conversations are. The rumors are that it would be around getting Xbox Game Pass onto Nintendo. Basically, Microsoft wanted to get Xbox Game Pass on all devices possible, and Nintendo's Switch suits that down to the ground. So that is what the conversation is around. And hello guys, how are you all? We're good. We're better now you're here. Enzo Castream. Hey, how's things, Enzo? Nintendo are historic for not making partnerships, and no one gets their IP. That is true. That is true. But Nintendo, almost to a fault. I mean, they are massive right now, but you go back 5-10 years, and Nintendo was kind of like on a cusp of shit, did we make a huge spike with this with the Wii, but then drop off to the point where it looked like Nintendo was kind of another one of those brands that didn't revitalize itself quick enough, like Capcom and so. I mean, it's funny because both Capcom and Nintendo have turned things around. Capcom are on like 4 straight years of record-breaking profits. Nintendo are smashing it. Yeah, for sure. Nintendo are smashing it with the Switch and the titles that have come around on that. So you go back 2 years, Nintendo was on the up. Now Nintendo is very far on the up. Maybe those conversations were conversations that had started 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and then Nintendo gets back to a point where it's actually, I can put my chest back out again now. I am Nintendo. I don't need Microsoft. So maybe there was a conversation that Game Pass would be coming to the Switch. And then Nintendo gone, actually, do you know what? Animal Crossing single-handedly saved Nintendo. So fuck it. No, we don't need Game Pass. So maybe it was something that was going to happen. Maybe it's something that kind of isn't going to happen. But yeah, Nintendo definitely. They don't play well with others, just like PlayStation. But they worked pretty well with Microsoft to bring around crossplay. So yeah, don't know. Is it a case of, is this more off the back of crossplay? Is it a case of a Game Pass conversation did happen off the back of crossplay? Or is it a case of that never happened? We don't know. But it's fun to speculate. I mean, the obvious easy low hanging fruit to pick off is the one that mentions in the article, which Jordan did mention. Let me scroll back up. Wouldn't surprise me with the amount of Microsoft IPs in Smash, which is one of the biggest FGC games. That's fighting game community games, by the way. I'm expecting to see Master Chief in Smash next. So it could be as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a case of they don't want that news coming out, because if they're going to put ad spend and marketing and all sorts of budget to push that, and it's already been leaked, that budget could just be maybe the announcement being announced at that point in time could have a good impact on their share prices. The fact that it gets leaked beforehand would have, obviously, it would dampen that impact on their share prices. So it could just be a case of Nintendo have gone, don't talk about that because we want to control the revenue stream at that point in time. It could be that. Which, obviously, if you're a Smash player, that's exciting. But if you're not as much. Sorry, what were you saying, babe?
I don't even think it's down to money with Nintendo. I think they are just very protective of whatever it is that they have, whether or not it's software or hardware. So I agree with you that they potentially may have been thinking about it, but I don't actually think it's down to money with them. I think it's just if it was down to money, I think it would have been more of the lines of, okay, so people are going to subscribe to Games Pass. What do we get out of it apart from people potentially buying our console? But if they've already got the console, what cuts do they get? Does that mean that the price of the user will have to pay more to play it on Nintendo? Does that mean that Xbox will have to relieve some of their profits and just pay for, I don't know, 200 million billion pounds to Nintendo for them to be able to have it as a one-time sum, and they'll be able to use it continuously until the contract renews or whatever? Like, if that's the part that it comes down to money, that's what it is. But I genuinely think it's just Nintendo saying, with Nintendo, we'll lend you some of our IPs to be able to use in other things. Like Microsoft, you can come over here and bring some of your characters with your Sega. You can come over here, Capcom. You can come over here, Konami. You can come over here, have all of your characters, put them into Smash Brothers, and then we're good to go. Fire Emblem, we can take some of your characters and bring you over here, or whatever it is, whatever IP it is that they want to take some of the world's most famous video game characters and then put them into whatever it is that they're creating. But in terms of software and hardware, they've always been a bit, don't want to say tight, but they've been very protective, and they don't want to release that anything else. Could you imagine 30 years ago Zelda only being on a Nintendo platform and it not seeing the light of day on any other platform? Super Mario Brothers, same thing.
30 years ago, I'd have been 5, so I wouldn't have imagined anything.
30 years ago, I wouldn't even been born yet.
Well, you would. You'd just be a few days old. baby. So looking at the industry as a whole, I would have thought maybe it could have jumped around to different platforms. Yeah. Specifically, if you're looking at what the competitors were, you've got the likes of the Sonics and so on, which naturally Sega has kind of come gone. Sonic's been everywhere since then, so you kind of think, oh, maybe it could have done. Yeah. So Sonic went from being a first party game to that company giving up on first party and becoming third party. So yeah,
mascots for PlayStation, Crash Bandicoot, Tomb Raider, all gone.
Yeah, exactly.
All gone. Spyro, all gone. So they're on everything now.
Industry is wide. Yeah, it kind of surprises me that it hasn't, but knowing what I know about Nintendo in the same time frame, yeah, absolutely, it's not going anywhere because Nintendo is Nintendo and that is mine.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Like Billy said, nice Billy. Microsoft just asked the question and then put the blame on others for not agreeing to be friends. Exactly. It's like me and Bib. Just like, do you know what? We had plans for a stream with Dr. Disrespect. Actually, no, because not him, because he's on YouTube now. Okay, we had plans for a stream with Timmy Tenders, Tim the Tapman, and it was all mapped out, but then Tim pulled the plug. What really happened was like, Tim, do you want to do a stream? He's like, no. It's like, okay, never mind. Fuck. Awkward.
Just don't leak the DMs.
Kalneka says, okay, but it would be very good when they partner up with others so that gamers can play with each other, whether on PlayStation or so. No, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what everyone wants in terms of that cross-market progression. And like being able to play your games on Game Pass and then take them over from your Xbox to your PC and then from your PC to your Switch, that's kind of wonderful, especially if you get cross progression. You start a game on your Xbox, but then you go to your family member's house for Christmas or whatever. You've not brought your Xbox, but there's a Switch there. You logging in and being able to continue that game would be wonderful. The only thing that kind of like makes me worry about this is like if all of those games that are available on Game Pass, we're not sure if Game Pass is sustainable. I mean, it could be, but it absolutely probably is because they're fucking raking it in, or so it seems. But we're not sure. There's some reasonable doubts as to whether that will remain the same forever. So if there's not necessarily enough money to go around, and you throwing another first party into that mix, is there going to be enough money to go around to cover Nintendo? Bearing in mind that I have an Xbox One X and I have Doom Eternal and I love that game. And I've got a Switch and I'm going to buy... No, actually, I've not even got Doom Eternal. I've got an Xbox One X and I've got a Switch and I'm going to buy Doom Eternal for my Switch. Actually, no, I've got Game Pass. So I've got Doom Eternal on that and I can play that on my Switch. I don't know if it is on Game Pass. I'm just using that as an example. So Doom, a game that I can buy as a standalone cartridge or download on my Switch, I now don't have to buy it. That's 40-50 quid of revenue gone, which Xbox has to then fork out some cash to Nintendo because it's lost. They've lost the sale, so they have to get some form of revenue for that because they're playing it on their console through Game Pass. Xbox then need to throw some money at Bethesda because Doom is their game, so they need some money, and they also then need to take some money for themselves. And that 40 quid game is a £10 subscription for that 1 month split across 3 different providers, Doom, Nintendo, and Xbox. Is that enough money to go around? Because that 40 quid, if you let's say they split it evenly, they probably won't, but let's say £3.33 per one of them. That 40 quid game, they're going to have to sell 15 games to be able to cut even for every person that plays a game on Switch. So yeah, that one person who buys Doom needs to effectively buy 15 games to bring up to the 40 quid for each brand. I'm balls in the way I'm describing the maths, but you get the idea. There's a lot of mouths to feed and not a lot to go around. So I understand why, if this doesn't come to Nintendo Switch, because you are carrying one of your competitors' strongest brands on your platform, which will actively take chunks of revenue out of your pocket and swap big chunks of revenue for smaller chunks, but consistently, because that's what it is. Getting Game Pass playing on your console means that you're not going to get 40 quid now, but you'll get 2 quid, you'll get 3 quid, you'll get 2 quid, you'll get 3 quid every month, which that's quite logical for companies like subscription services because they've got guaranteed, air quotes, income month on month. They can plan better for how they keep their company subsidized, as opposed to going big launch, shitloads of money, and then a dull period while you build your next game, and a big launch and a shitload of money and dull period. So you have to plan your finances better in that case, whereas having the money coming in on a subscription means you've got steady income. But Nintendo have never been about that. Nintendo have been about, oh, you want to buy a game from us? Yeah, we're not going to give you any platform to get it for 2 or 3 quid. What you're going to do is spend 55 quid because it's launch week. Oh, nice. And if I wait 6 months? Yeah, 55 quid. Okay, what if I wait 6 years? Yep, still 55 quid. Okay, so Nintendo are like, I'm not asked if you buy it now or in 6 months or 6 years. It's going to be a lot of money. So it kind of clashes with their idea of, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 quid a month. Nah, we want 50 quid right now, and then 50 quid next month for the next game, and then 50 quid again the next month after that. So it's a big change for Nintendo. So if it is Game Pass, it wouldn't surprise me if those conversations have been and gone. But speaking of which, would you like to see Game Pass on the Switch? There is a poll in the chat for anyone watching live on Twitch. Get your votes in now. Yes or no? Would you like to see Game Pass on Switch? Okay, let's jump back into the comments. I think Nintendo have enough cash in the bank. Where's it gone? It's gone off my screen. All the way from the Wii hype. They can ride a quiet period for a long time. I mean, that's the thing, though. That was the case, but then they invested a lot of money into the R&D and distribution of the Wii U, which didn't necessarily make them a lot of money. So they did have a rainy day fund, but then they had an exceptionally rainy day in industry terms. It was, 18 months before developers started pulling out of the Wii U, like saying, okay, we're not going to develop games for the Wii U. It may even been 12 months. And that is a huge impact for a product that you're expecting to last 5, 6, 7 years. And you get 12 months before developers are pulling out of that. That will have been a shitload of revenue lost. So that rainy day fund suddenly looks a little bit bleaker. But then again, you have a Switch to back that back up again. They've gone from huge high to quite a significant low back to a huge high. So yeah, their rainy day fund is absolutely topped back up again. Tito says, I still think Microsoft buying Sega is more likely. Can see a reciprocal deal. Microsoft provide technical and infrastructure support in return for Game Pass platforming on the Switch. Do you know, I can see that one. I can definitely see that one. I think you're spot on there. For anyone that doesn't know that, there has been rumours about Microsoft buying Sega for a while. Microsoft executives wearing Sega t-shirts in YouTube videos and things like that. And we know Microsoft have a history of hiding things in plain sight in their videos. Like there was an Xbox One S sat on the shelf behind Phil Spencer about 3 months before it was shown to the world, just so that they can go back and go, aha, see that white thing you thought was a book? That's a One S. So is that what it is? It could be. It could be. Enzo Castro says, gamers might want partnerships and cross-play, but we need to remember these are companies and it's about profit and protecting their IP. It is. It is. Bonsai! Good morning, Bonsai! Good morning, dude. Colin Necker says, I guess you're right, but if they would share their plans, they could make epic things. Just imagine what could be if they would work together. But I guess Nintendo will not go with a partnership, like always. Okay, 67%, just over 2/3 of people would like to see Game Pass on Switch. I didn't vote, but I would vote in yes, because more games, more platforms, yes, please. So that doesn't surprise me. Nice vote, nice. I understand that it's a great idea, but the price of IP and controlling your IP is far more important than making great things. It is. From a business perspective, naturally. Having control of your own fate and your own titles and your own destiny and protecting those and ensure that you get a lion's share of all of the profits absolutely is the best way. That's it. I mean, if you bring in Xbox Game Pass, that takes people away from your games on your platform. You essentially become a sub-platform that complements another one. In theory, there's other ways. I mean, there's a million ways that could go, but in theory, that could just absolutely pull the rug out. Nintendo could inadvertently change themselves to an Xbox provider, and that's it. As soon as Xbox then go, actually, we don't want Game Pass on Switch anymore. Switch then go, oh fuck, if you take that, we have nothing else, no other revenue streams. So Xbox then can start going, okay, we were giving you 30 pence for every pound that we earn. We're now going to give you 20 pence for every pound, 10 pence for every pound. And Nintendo just kind of have to take it at that point. So it's understandable to protect yourself. I mean, it's the ideal is that we get Nintendo games and we get Game Pass and we get everything everywhere. Obviously, reality versus dreams. It's not necessarily the case. Enzo says, I in fact might just start doing this. So I was planning a partnership with Ice Cream Uploads, but they just pulled out at the last minute without comment. Oh no, he's mentioned it.
No comment.
No comment.
I needed like a really high pitched sort of like so I can do. I just want to reach out to our legal guys and we discussed the terms and conditions and we had a conversation with Enzo Castream and his wage demands were just extremely high for the amount of money that was concerned. So we said no. Okay, thank you, bye. So yeah, there you go. What? Okay, let me just see if I can catch up. Game Pass is the Spotify of the gaming world, and with like Spotify, it reaches more people, but it hurts the artists. A lot of developers will fall when this model becomes the norm. I hope it never does. They get money month to month, but the more in the pool water down the money, so it becomes less and less. More in the is that more in the pool? But I get what you say. But yeah, there's positives and negatives to if we're talking economics of a subscription platform. Absolutely, some developers will get more money than they ever did. Some developers absolutely will not get the money. And we've had conversations of this before. Say if you have an hour-long game and people download it, do you pay the developer on the install? And is that it? It's done and gone. Do you pay the developer on amount of time played? Because if that's the case, developers, indie developers that want you to have the best 60 minutes of your life, which is a sentence that Bibby always says, easy tiger. Now, if you want to have 6 minutes, sorry, my bad. You want to have the best 60 minutes of your life, download and play this game. It's exceptional.
Seconds.
Yeah. But it's over and done with. And that's the point. We don't want to drag it out. We don't want it to live forever. We want it to just be that moment of magic, which is what Bibby says again. Fine, wonderful, exceptional, yeah. But when you're on a Game Pass mechanic, if it's a case of actually no replayability and time spent in the game, Microsoft will give them money back. Then that's a case of, okay, well, we will stop seeing indie developers doing that, and we will just have indie developers doing a shitload of grind games that need you to come back to Farmville, maintain your crops, do this, that, and the other, because it makes us an absolute shitload of money, and we don't earn money from the games that we actually want to make. And then, it becomes so. There's all sorts of issues where that could harm the industry going forward. That said, if we live in a world where that doesn't do that, where there is good balance in the economics, I know that's a huge if, but let's just run with it, because obviously we've been through the economic side of things before. Let's say if that is the case, then having a subscription service where people can spend a guaranteed £120 per year, that's averaging £10 a month, and have access to a library of thousands of games, that also, stepping away from the developers and going back to the consumers, that is a huge deal. Like one game, Spider-Man, 70 quid, pow, on PlayStation. 1,000 games for 120 quid on Xbox, and that's kind of where the difference is. It's like it's trying to satisfy all causes, because yes, you're taking money out of the developer's pocket, but you're putting content into the user's pocket, and which is the necessary evil. I mean, both of the necessary evils and both of the necessary benefits, but in true Karate Kid terms, it's all about balance. It's all about balance. Lucas2792 says, for me, Game Pass on the Switch would only be worth it if there is some way they could make cross saves between Xbox and Switch possible. Do you know what? Yeah, that's the dream. That is the dream. We're in a world where we're scratching the surface of crossplay, cross progression to that level. I mean, Fortnite is exceptional for that. I mean, you don't have to like Fortnite at all, but the idea that Bibby can fire it up on his PC, play a few games, jobs are good, and he can then jump on his PS4 and play a few games with me in party chat, nice, and then we can both go into the office whenever that happens again, and he could just sit there on his Nintendo Switch and carry on again, and keep playing through the same season pass. That is wonderful, wonderful. I would love to see that in like games like that are online, like Fortnite, but offline, like Metal Gear Solid. If you're playing through the campaign on Metal Gear Solid, I want to start on my PlayStation, play it on my Xbox at work, come back, continue on my PlayStation, and then when something's on the TV, come upstairs and fire up the PC, and then play it on there. Yes, please. That's what I want for the future of everything.
Can you not do that already? Can you not do a cross save? So, for instance, if I've got Games Pass on my PC, like I know Chucky's been and played State of Decay on his Xbox One when his PC was failing, and his save just moved over. Is that because it's stored in the cloud? If I was to fire up Game Pass on my phone, could I continue my State of Decay save, or will I have to start again? I'm fairly certain I can carry on with that save because the save is in the cloud.
I believe it's in the cloud, and it's a Microsoft title as well. So I think it's something that Microsoft have been heavily involved in. So there obviously that is wonderful. That's another great example of it. But then obviously there'll be other games that you can play on xCloud and your Xbox and Xbox on PC that won't have that level of sort of progression. I think Destiny you can, if I'm right. It does have cross progression because it's an online kind of thing. But yeah, some do that, some don't do that. And the closer we get closer to that world where you can progress every day. But it's been one of those things that you've kind of tasted in the industry for quite a while. So I always mention this because it was my first experience of cross progression, and it was me playing Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on my PS3, so 2 generations back. Playing Metal Gear Solid HD Collection on the PS3, then saving that file and then transferring the save to my Vita, I think it was, and then continuing. Yeah, it was my Vita. Continuing the gameplay on my Vita, then, and then when I finished, I can save and export the save back to my PS3 and carry on. Yes, it wasn't in the cloud, and it wasn't effortless because I had to save it and then transport it like via the USB slot and stuff like that. It was a bit cumbersome. Oh, no, it wasn't. I had to plug it in using a USB cable. That's what it was. It was a bit cumbersome. And once I'd copied it over to my PlayStation, I'd effectively taken it off of my Vita, so I couldn't continue that save then. So there was only one active save. But that gave me the taste of cross progression. The idea that I can play it on my Vita on a train on the way to work, and then when I get back home, put it back on my PlayStation and play it on the TV. Woo, yes, please. And we're about 10 years on from that, 7, 8 years on from when I first tried that, and we're just getting to the point where it's becoming a reality. So I would love to see a lot more of that. That for me is the future. Well, a bit of the future, not the entire future. Wage demands 6 mins is a bit of a push. I don't know. Oh, 6 mins. Oh, there we go. Yeah. It's just all right. The wage demands. I mean, to be fair, you did ask for quite a lot in those wage demands. I mean, who in their right mind has the nerve to ask for 2 packets of penguin biscuits? 2! You get 6 in one pack? God. Anyway, I wouldn't.
Negotiations have to break away.
GG's.
Thank you.
GG's.
This one for asking that.
I wouldn't hate the strange art style in Fortnite. If I wouldn't hate the strange art style in Fortnite, I would play it probably, but it's successful. Thing is, I mean, I don't like the art style per se. I don't dislike it. I think it's quite a nice, well-polished, cartoony sort of aesthetic. Which is universal. It's a family game. It's like Disney. Disney is not. It's beyond cartoons and now, but it's animated. Let's put it that way. I mean, it's kind of daft because all video games are animated, but you know what I'm saying. And I want something that, because I'm an old man, something that aims at an old man, something that's just got a bit more mature themes. That said, Fortnite in itself it's ridiculously good. It does so much so well. I know it's a victim of its own success. It's become so successful that you meme it. It's a game for 12-year-olds and stuff like that, but it's still pretty good. It's pretty damn sweet. Just takes a second to sync when you boot it up. See, there you go. I'm assuming that's the State of Decay crossplay, right? Cross progression stuff. But yeah, exceptional. Lovely. If you haven't played it, by the way, if you've got any format that plays State of Decay, don't sleep on it. I did for about 6 years, and it was only because State of Decay 3 is coming, and the day before's coming. I was like, okay, this is a genre I've not touched on, and Bibby was like, yeah, you should try this. I was like, yeah, okay, and I tried it, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. There you go. By the way, we will not be playing State of Decay today, so despite bigging it up, we're not actually going to be playing it today. We were planning to play Knockout City. However, whilst it is out today and it's free on Xbox Game Pass, it's free for everyone for 10 days, and it's free on EA Play. It doesn't come out until 1 p.m. So by the time it comes out, and then by the time we...
I did see a tweet before we went live to say that they've had to push it back because something's not working. They said they'll get notified the rest of the thread as it keeps on going, so it could be delayed till a little bit later. So chances are we probably wouldn't have been. Well, we wasn't playing it today because of the time it was coming out. We will reschedule when we're likely to play this game because it looks like they're having a few teething problems trying to put it out onto various platforms.
So there you go. No Knockout City today, which is a bit of a shame because we were absolutely hyped for that. But we will still play shitloads of Knockout City, just not today. So we are going to jump in with some more PUBG. We started played some yesterday. We did some last week. Bibby's just a massive PUBG fan. We just can't get him to stop talking about it. It's always the same. Just God's sake, Bibby. So some more PUBG. If you want to jump in with some games of PUBG, then feel free to join me and Bibby afterwards. You could have played before. You could have never played with us before. But nice to get some people to jump into some games. A couple of hours, jump gun fun times. Nice. Maybe an hour and a half-ish. Yeah. Okay, let's not wrap things up. Let's wrap things up for this story, though, and move forward. Mr. Garlic Clark is here. Good morning, Garlic. How's things, dude? I'll read. Bonsai. I'll read. No skill, says arigato. How's things, dude? Welcome in. I can't remember if I got my pronunciation good then. We had someone that used to work with us at Ice Cream / Jelly, who was a very fluent Japanese speaker, and she did teach us a few Japanese words, and I've well forgotten how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to assume it was nailed on. You're all going to agree with me, and we're going to move forward. Nice, okay. Bonsai says, good, yes, mate, I'm good. Thanks, just popping into the stream before I pop out, as it's my birthday today. Hey! Okay, do you know what? You've asked for this, my friend. I'm sorry. You can't stop it. You just have to accept it.
Oh, no.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Fonzie. Happy birthday to you.
Everyone happy? Everyone good? Nice. 33 years old, the big double threes. You love to see it. Happy birthday. Level 3'd out twice. He's got the 3-3 on the go. You love to see it. Happy birthday, dude.
I'm so glad Discord saved me there.
I'm not sure about the people in the stream. I don't know whether you got saved by it or whether you got the full brunt of it. Hopefully you got the full brunt because it's Bonzai's birthday, so there you go. Lake says, Hockey World Cup starts today with Great Britain in, by the way. World Championships, not World Cup. As in indoor hockey, I'm assuming, or like field grass hockey jobby as opposed to ice hockey, I'm assuming. Do you know, I don't mind watching hockey. I don't play it. My mate used to play county level. I think he actually represented Great Britain at under 15s or something. But then we found alcohol, so he didn't represent much anymore.
Alcohol, kebabs, and birds. It's always a downfall at 15 years old.
Awkward. Mr. Gary says, all good cheers, Shaggers, all the better for seeing you two handsome fuck faces. Yeah.
Hey.
Chucky said, it's the emphasis of the caps. Discord did not save us. Yes. Okay. You are welcome. Lake says ice hockey. Ah, there you go, ice hockey. Well, see, I'm open to the idea of ice hockey. I have a Mighty Ducks jersey, but that's as open as I get to it. So I'm open to it. I don't understand it, and I'm absolutely a Glory fan that watched it on Disney when I was younger. So there you go. Anyway, let's move forward. So we do have a lot of stories based around Microsoft, Epic, and all of that jazz today. So obviously we spoke about Microsoft and Nintendo. Those details came out of the court case. We'll put a pin in the Epic sort of conversation for now. We'll stick with Microsoft though, and we'll jump into their next story. We'll come back to Epic in just a second. But the next story is about Bethesda and Microsoft. And this, I don't think we clipped it or recorded it anywhere, but this absolutely goes back to something that we spoke about in November-ish or whenever it was finally confirmed about Bethesda being acquired by Microsoft. And we absolutely called this, and in true ice creamy fashion, we've nailed it, as Bethesda and Microsoft will host a joint conference at E3 2021. So obviously in previous years, you've had a Microsoft conference to kick things off. Then you've had a Bethesda conference following that. I can happily say that I was in the last ever Bethesda only E3 conference. Yeah. But Bethesda and Microsoft will hold a joint conference at E3 this year, 2021. This is written by Stephany at VG247, and it says news, I'm assuming, of the joint conference with Bethesda and Microsoft was revealed in an interview with Xbox Game Studios head Matt Boutet. In the interview with French outlet Le Figaro, subscription required, it was said by the author Chloe Woitier that the conference would happen within a few weeks, which likely means E3 2021. Thanks, IGN. Both Microsoft and Bethesda tend to host individual shows during the conference, but it makes sense this year considering the latter is now owned by the Xbox company. What all Bethesda plans... What all Bethesda plans?
Yeah, all doesn't feel like it should be there.
Okay, what Bethesda plans on showing during the conference is not known at this time, but it's possible we will finally get a look at how Starfield is coming along. According to Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, the game will make an appearance at E3, but that the game is, quote, nowhere near done and won't be released this year. So we're probably looking at sometime in late 2022, and whether we will hear anything else on the next Elder Scrolls game, Baby Calm Down, is not known either. But it would be nice, even if Starfield is coming out before it. Then again, it could be years before we find anything about it. Ooh, it says in brackets. I mean, I would say that, but it also says in brackets. Microsoft is just one of the companies confirmed for the virtual conference this year. The others are Capcom, Nintendo, Take-Two, and Ubisoft, along with Bandai Namco, Gearbox, Sega, Square Enix, and Exceed Games. Surely more companies will be announced at a later date. And then just to wrap things up, I'd usually stop there, but we did cover this yesterday, so it's a nice tie-in. Coinciding with E3 this year is the Summer Game Fest, which kicks off June the 10th, just a couple of days ahead ahead of E3 2021. Partners this year include 2K Games, Activision, Bandai Namco, Blizzard, Capcom, Devolver Digital, EA, Epic Games, Gearbox, Hi-Rez, PlayStation, Riot, Sega, Square Enix, Steam, Ubisoft, Warner Brothers, Xbox, and plenty of other developers and publishers. E3 2021 runs June 12th to June 15th. I genuinely, halfway through that sentence, thought I'm not making it to the end of this. I've let myself down. I've let us all down.
Your lung's going to explode.
Yeah. Managed to pull it out the bag, though. So Bethesda and Microsoft to hold a joint conference. Can't be expected, really, babe. I mean, as soon as we called it, what are you saying?
Yes. I mean, this is a nice little bit of news. It's an all-encompassing thing, isn't it? It's that, it's going to be a giant one. What are we going to get? Because it's literally just all speculation at this moment in time. I'm very interested to see what Microsoft was going to bring to the table. I'm also very interested to see what they're about and what they're going to mention about Bethesda, because this will be one of the only times I think we've had since they've taken over Bethesda, since they brought them into the fold, that we've heard from the horse's mouth exactly what it is that they'll be doing for Microsoft potentially. Like, have they got a timeline of events that for these games we've got to come out? I know it mentions Starfield, it also mentions Elder Scrolls in here, but what else have they got in the pipeline? Is this the first opportunity that we're going to hear again from the horse's mouth what it is likely to be given to us in the next coming years? That's the most interesting part of this news story. Nobody knows, and I think that's good. It's not very often in the video games world now where things are kept a secret. We don't know things until the very second that something gets released. Usually something gets leaked, and then you have to do everything that you can to make sure that you don't get it spoiled for you, whether that's muting keywords on Twitter, blocking news outlets so you don't see anything until it actually arrives, or blocking the usual gang that leaks stuff. So the fact that we haven't heard much about this deal yet, even though it's already happened, I'm very interested to see what we're going to be getting from this.
Yeah, I mean, is anyone surprised about the fact that there will be a joint conference? Probably not. I mean, I could see there being two, but I mean, if anything, it's almost a little bit of a shame for Bethesda, because in their last conference, yes, they did have like Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, but it was kind of an after the fact sort of conference. Oh no, it was before Doom as well, so they did have Doom. It was early mention of Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, so they did have some good stuff in there. But imagine having a conference where you can talk about what you've done with Doom, how you've saved Fallout. You then have Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo kind of thing on the horizon, plus Starfield, plus Elder Scrolls, all in the same conference. That's pretty tasty. That said, Microsoft, with the likes of Halo and all the rest, gets to put all of that stuff alongside it. That is huge. I mean, there's something that people always talk about, and we will talk about it because we get swept up in the hyperbole, even though I dislike it severely. The who won E3. I know PlayStation out there, so you can't throw them in the conversation. It doesn't really work the same anymore. But if that conversation was to go on, if the conversation and the hyperbole does kick off, you've got to be mishitting to have Halo and probably Forza and probably some new studio announcements that you've acquired, probably some new IP announcements, and then Starfield, and then Elder Scrolls, and then some Doom content, and all the rest of the stuff that Xbox can have there. To have all of that stuff in a conference, and it's all coming free on day one on Game Pass. Oh my fucking god! World premiere hype. That's gonna it has. Yet, let me see. Stream preview. Can you see me? You should be able to see me. I think you can see me. Can you see me? Hey.
Do a bit of spring cleaning all the way in.
Yeah, we're good. We're back. Nice. Sky Internet, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching this on YouTube, hey, how are you doing? We are back for part 2 of the stream, which had absolutely no notification that it was ending. That's just the way it works when you've got dodgy internet. Welcome back for part 2. Everyone in the stream, thank you for sticking around. Hey, how you doing? So what we were talking about then was Microsoft having what is essentially prepped to be one of the biggest E3 conferences ever. Microsoft do good conferences. It's as simple as that. I mean, you can argue about the quality of the content or if there's enough of it, and that's kind of been their problem in terms of they've not had the games. Even if you're a Microsoft fan, unless you're an absolute blinded fanboy, you could absolutely hand on heart say, yeah, we've got an exceptional console. We've got exceptional services like Game Pass. We don't have exceptional titles that you can't play anywhere else. But now that will start to change. If Elder Scrolls and Starfield and things like that are exclusive to Xbox consoles, then that conference suddenly becomes a huge statement of intent. And what I was saying as we went offline is Microsoft has spent $7 billion on acquiring Bethesda. If you're going to spend $7 billion on acquiring Bethesda and not market that, then you're wasting a chunk of cash. So they'll be spending millions on ensuring that the content in this is good, that they have great messaging to announce, that their internal timelines are on point so that they're ready to show off trailers and demos and have live stuff that you can play alongside the show. They will go big on this conference. I absolutely 100% believe that. So if E3, Bethesda and Microsoft are joining forces, I may have lost my pen again, for a conference, then it's going to be good for us. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
One thing that I didn't see coming well, I did see it coming, but the fact that they're now going to have one less place for Microsoft products at the show. I thought they tried to spread out their announcements. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so they'll have a Microsoft one, and then there might be a few more shows in between from other publishers, developers, or whatever, and then Bethesda. So it's like Microsoft is spread out across the day rather than just having two of the biggest usual conferences slap bang into one. I thought they tried to brainwash people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is interesting because it's such a big and significant. It's bignificant. It's such a bignificant move that Bethesda is strong enough to hold its own conferences, and it has been doing. That said, there is a bit of a drop-off in terms of size. Most people will watch the Xbox conference, but then it tends to be fans or people that are more likely industry interest people will then watch the Bethesda ones. So it could be a case of, rather than going, okay, do we want more places to shout about Xbox stuff, or do we absorb Bethesda into Xbox so that all the people that are just there for Xbox in general, that didn't really care about Elder Scrolls and things like that, because it's not an Xbox title, it's a title, it's a Bethesda title. Now we can say, look, this is something you should be caring about too. So that's probably the way they've gone for it in terms of dropping it in. And then also the fact that, I mean, COVID world, are they going to have a live stage show? That's going to cost a shitload of money. They're not going to have the audience there, so they can absorb all of the cost and get the bang for the buck for a much lesser outlay. So there's probably all of that sort of stuff thrown into it too. I would have liked to see another conference. That said, the Bethesda conference tends to be on fairly late, so at least this way we get to see it, because the Microsoft conference is on, 6, 7, 8 p.m. kind of thing, 6 o'clock-ish usually. So yeah, it's all right, nice. Yeah, nice. But let's move ahead. Let's jump back into the Epic discussion, as we've got two very good bits of news, which are kind of very closely linked, but this is how we kind of end off the week. Do you know what? I'll ask you for the two words that you would use to summarize the final article of the week, even though we're not quite there yet, babe. What do we finish the week off with?
Usually, Graham, and we have done this for the last few months. Free Game Friday.
Yeah, Free Game Friday. So this isn't the article, but this is a good setup for it. As Tom Ivan at VGC says, a new Epic Game Store promotion knocks $10 off every game priced $15 plus. So this isn't new, but if you're new to Epic Game Store, then it will be new to you, and it's a wonderful, wonderful deal. The discount works on titles included in its newly launched mega sale. So sales with discounts, so discounts on discounts. You love to see it. The Epic Game Store is currently running a promotion which gets you $10 off when you buy any game costing at least $14.99. The discount varies depending on where you live. In the UK, for example, you'll get £10 off any title priced £13.99 or above. And in Europe, it's €10 off €14.99. And it's valid until 4 p.m. BST on June the 17th. So the promotion coincides with the launch of the mega sale, which is offering up to 75% off various titles on Epic Game Store. And the $10, £10 discount is valid on sale items if they meet the minimum qualifying spend. It's only valid on full games, so can't be used on DLC packs, season passes, or in-game purchases, including V-Bucks in Fortnite. You have to use Epic coupons to get the discounts. Sign into your Epic Games account and hit the Get My Epic Coupon button to claim one for free. Each time you make a purchase using an Epic coupon during the sale period, you'll get another one free. Players who've pre-purchased unreleased games that launch during the sale will automatically receive a partial refund to account for the coupon, which will be sent directly to the payment method they use. AKA, if you've bought a game already, you're going to get 10 quid back. Nice. Titles included in the sale include Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Oddworld Soulstorm, Cyberpunk 2077, Outriders, and Red Dead Redemption 2. And then, do you know what? As soon as it says it there, let's jump into the next article too. So this week's free Epic Game Store title is NBA 2K21. Once again, written by Tom Ivan at BGC. This is the Free Game Friday content you're looking forward to. Basketball title will be free until May the 27th. So if you want one of the most beautiful games that you could ever see, and you're into sports games, particularly basketball, I mean, especially basketball, then this could be for you. As this week's free Epic Game Store is NBA 2K21. The full game is yours to keep for free this week. Titles included in the Marketplace's weekly free games promotion are usually revealed a week before they're made available, but Epic kept the identity of the latest one a mystery until now. NBA 2K21 replaces Mipumi Games' The Lion's Song, a narrative adventure game focused on a cast of Austrian artists and scientists struggling with creativity and inspiration, which was free to download from May the 13th to May the 20th. Now, the basketball game, which normally costs $49.99 on Epic's Marketplace, will also be replaced by another mystery game on May the 27th. In a separate announcement, publisher 2K said PC players can now experience crossplay for NBA 2K21 on Epic and Steam platforms. An Epic Game Store promotion also launched on Thursday. It knocks £10 off every game, price 15 or above, which we've just told you about. So there you go. £10 off of every game that costs you $13.99 or above. If you pick up a 14 quid game, it's going to cost you £4. Bargain. Plus, whilst you're in there, you might as well pick up this bad boy for free. Not that specific bad boy, is that Zion Williams? The game that he fronts, NBA 2K21 for free on PC. You get to keep it forever as long as you get it before the 27th of May. 6 days. Get in, get the goods, get out. Nice. Free Game Friday's looking good this week, babe. What are your thoughts?
It's looking very good, Graham. It's looking very good. The NBA game, I've never been a massive fan of NBA. I know I understand the rules, but there's just something about it that it doesn't tickle my fancy. But the fact that you're getting one of the best single player experiences and a revolutionary way that the games are played online with, I always forget the name of it. I'm sure it's Playground, but the way that they do the game is unbelievable. And you're getting it for free. So what's there to lose?
Love to see it. Love to see it. Tell you what there is to lose. Nothing. That's what. So if you have a PC, we mention this all the time. And the reason I keep mentioning it like this is because this was me. I'm talking from experience. If you have a PC and you've got Steam installed, nice. You've got the games. If you have a PC, but you just haven't bothered getting Epic because it's just a bit of faff getting another game client, well, what's the point? I don't spend that much time on my PC. I play on the console more than I do on the PC. Even though I've got a PC that could do so much better than my console, I still play my console more. If that's you, because that was me, just download Epic Game Store. We're not on a commission with this. We say this every week. We hammer it so much that it sounds like we're on a commission. We're not. It's just such a good deal that you can abuse for now. Epic are throwing money away to try and increase their user base, so you might as well get free games like NBA 2K21 that you get to download and keep forever for free whilst it's there. Do it. Miss it, miss out. I can't remember. Is that remember? Either. Tito says, bloody work making me answer calls. Who do they think they are? I know exactly, right? Get out of here. Workers like having to work at work. Forget work, Tito. Just load up the PlayStation and jump on for a few games with me. Jump in some PUBG. Speaking of which, that is the end of the show. Thank you everyone for sticking around for Free Game Friday news, plus the Microsoft conversations, as well as all the rest of the stuff. If you missed the headline stories, Nintendo and Microsoft are in bed with one another. Or maybe not. Maybe they were. Maybe they're not. Maybe they never were. They just talked about it. We don't really know. But we do know that they did have secret talks Is it just about something like a Smash Brothers crossover, or is it a Game Pass conversation? We don't know. If we do get any more details, we will let you know. But it's interesting to know that there have been some conversations. Bethesda, on the other hand, have been speaking to Microsoft, as you'd expect, seeing as they are now their parents. Bethesda and Microsoft will share the same stage at E3. There will not be separate conferences. It will be a joint conference this year. And then we're closing things out with the news that not only is NBA 2K21 free on the Epic Game Store, but their mega sale has started, and also you can save £10 on every game that costs £14 or more. So there you go. If you're buying games, make sure you save your money, because if not, you're just throwing your money away, and that's not nice. You worked hard for it. Keep the money. Just pressing my buttons, and then I've just not like that easy tiger. Just seen this. Mr. Gallic Clark rolls through with yet another meme. When Graham announced he was buying a voice changer mod. GG's.
That's going to be a profile pic.
that's a constant face for Bib. That's just it's not even that. It's just Graham's talking. Oh, fuck's sake. But we are going to disappear. We are going to jump on with some PUBG. So if you want to play some games, join us. If you want to watch two northern buffoons trying to fumble their way through a fight with 98 other players, then join us anyway. You don't have to play. You can just watch. We will be back on the channel in about 15-20 minutes-ish. Yeah. So make sure if you're new here, you hit the follow button, because that way you do get notified when we go live. We're going to go off. We're not going to raid anyone else because we're coming straight back on. So we'll go off. We'll jump back on, and then you can join us for some PUBG. If you're not doing anything, if you're having your lunchtime, maybe you've got Friday off, maybe you're just not doing anything for the rest of the day, or at least not until later on, feel free to stick around. And if you have PUBG on the Xbox or the PlayStation, you can jump in and join us. We would love you to share the screen with us. But for now, Bib, is there anything that you'd like to add?
Again, thank you very much for joining us for all 5 episodes of The Scoop this week. If you do want to help shape our show for Monday, then there is 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social medias at Ice Cream Rollers across all major social media platforms, or get into our Discord if you are watching this on any of our on-demand services. All the links that you require will be in the description, either below or to the right-hand side, depending on what platform you're on. But there's an area inside our Discord called The Scoop. All we need from you is the URL plus your first impressions. We will then give you our first impressions on the very next show, which I mentioned on Monday. But at what time, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m. Ish. 10 a.m. ish. I do mention at the start of the show, and I mention at the end, we do go live at 10 a.m. ish each and every single weekday. We do work in the video games industry, so the real work comes first. We do work as jelly, but then we put on our capes as ice cream, jelly and ice cream. So whenever the jelly stuff is done, the ice cream stuff starts. So that's why we go live at 10 a.m. ish, and we have an exclusive emote in the chat that you guys are dropping in. And Callan Echo, who has access to that emote, has just written the word ish anyway, which we approve. But thank you very much. As mentioned, see you back in about 15-20 minutes. Get yourself some food, get yourself some biscuits, a nice warm drink or a cold drink, whatever you want, and we'll see you for some games of PUBG. Enzo Cass says, I'll PUBG. Yeah, jump in the team.
Get into our Discord if you're not already in there, mate.
Yeah. We will be jumping into the PUBG squads, part of the Discord for the voice chat. So we'll see you in there in about 20 minutes or so. For now, though, have yourselves a fantastic weekend if we don't see you before. Make sure you jump in. There's a good shout that we will have some Knockout City for you this weekend. I'm not going to confirm when or where. Just keep your eyes out on our socials and on Twitch, obviously, because you'll get notified. Before that, though, have yourselves a fantastic weekend. And remember, stay
frosty.